What if you could go to one of those old five-man dungeons that kicked your ass every week in vanilla WoW and get revenge? Oh, wow. I killed the mob outside the dungeon and it dropped 2 greens. This place drops greens fast. Now, I am on a server that is not yet open. All right, this is my server. It's a very special server. All of the bosses are as Blizz-like as they can be. But there's a whole bunch of changes I made to this server to make it crazy fun and dedicate it to what I like to do, multi-boxing. And here you see 40 guys ready to go in and do battle with Wailing Caverns with no clothes on. Now, Wailing Caverns, kind of hard back in the day with 5 guys. Let's see if it's easier with 40 level 16 shaman. Here we are, inside of Wailing Caverns with 40 people. Doesn't seem to be a problem. There's a guy here, he probably has a quest. We're not going to take it right now. You can complete quests on this server, which will be open soon. We're talking days, not weeks, all right? Oh, look at that. 4,000 experience. What? That was a level 19 that just got one shot by 40 shaman casting Earth Shock. Let's turn group loot on. Who's the raid leader here? Who's in charge here? AWT, man, that ain't no good. Make chain it the leader. New leader. All right, we're gonna free for all, buddy. I don't know why we were on. I guess this raid has been around. So when you log out and log back in, it goes back to group loot. But yeah, let's get a move on. Uh-oh. Oh, this guy didn't go down like a chump. Oh, yeah, he did. Okay, well, we level on every creature. We level on every creature, so we will soon be leveled out of here. 4,200 experience per mob. You can select 1x experience, but you have to do it on each account, and I really don't feel like doing that 40 times right now. Uh-oh. 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 This is looking bad for the good guys. Oh. Oh no, quick heal. There's no quick heal. Why is there no quick heal? Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, we're okay. We're okay. Res me, suckers. For some reason, res isn't working. Oh, you know why res isn't working? I know why res isn't working. Because I didn't have it when I first initted. It'll only put spells up that you have. Maybe that's it. That shouldn't do it. That shouldn't be it. Res should just work. Maybe I've never had a situation where I had this many resers in my raid. That's all right. I'll just have somebody manually res me. There you go. Oh, this is funny. This is funny. Okay, we're here for loot, so let's get the loot. We're also here for bags. I think there's bags in here, really good bag. Really high rate bags drop here, I think. Shut up. Oh, let's move this over. That's in the way. And let's turn off our RAID interface, party interface in RAID. Yes. Okay, we're moving way too slow here, guys. But we'll pick it up here as you know, I get more comfortable. But this leveling is going to make the gear that's dropping. So I would recommend, if you want to enjoy this and take your time, switch it over to 1x. And ooh, you know what we got to do? We got to check why. Oh gosh. Why is quick heal a nil value? So let's go see what's happening with my add-ons. I'm not going to get very far without quick heal. I run my heals on quick heal, so everybody doesn't seem to have it. It's odd. This has never happened, actually. So quick heal is turned off. All right, that is really strange. So I've got to log everybody out and turn on quick heal. It's just really funky that happened. All right. So the goal here is to work over to these bosses in Wailing Caverns and, you know, extract some loot out of them. Now, you might have noticed that, you know what, some of these guys do have quick heal on, and some of them don't. So freaking strange. Why would that be? Quick heal, quick heal, quick heal. Yes, 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 yes. No. You. For any healing class, quick heal needs to be on. That is the fact, Jack. I don't care if you're a Shadow Priest, you need to have quick heal on. Because I take advantage of heals. Where did it put us? Where did it put us? It put us outside. How about that? I guess that's kind of normal. That it puts you outside. Hold on, I gotta get everybody facing in the right direction, otherwise they're gonna be like, oh, whatever. I don't know where you're going. Oh, quick. There's a mob. There's a mob over there. Here we go. Yeah, so if you gracefully log out in an instance in Vanilla WoW, you get teleported to the front of the instance, which is a very good way to... This does not count for raids, by the way, but for 5-mans, for 5-mans, all 5-mans, by the way, on Multibox WoW are... That's the name of the server, by the way. All 5-mans are 40-man for a limited time. So if you want to take advantage of this, you gotta jump on it. Morty. I can't do my Rick and Morty right now. I haven't watched it enough lately. And you don't really need healing when every single kill levels you, because yeah, I should actually be looting these guys. You know, because they drop. Oh, I meant to say, I didn't actually finish what I was saying. You may have noticed that a lot of loot is dropping, blah, blah, blah. That's because everybody drops double loot on my server, including the bosses. So it allows you to gear up fast and face off with real raid bosses as soon as possible. What are you doing? No. Eli, can you pick that up? He's rubbing himself on it. We have a new puppy. Gotta manage him. Bam. 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 Really? You're playing a turn-based game. You almost missed your turn. No, your turn stays. Oh my goodness. Bam! Up, experience down to, our level's up to 20, and experience is down to 3,900. 15x experience on this server, and more than that, you get full experience in raid with no group deduction. But yeah, running around inside instances with 40 guys is a very fast way to get up to level 60 here. And that's really what you want to do. You want to start squaring up against real raid bosses like Molten Core, ZG, AQ20, and that's because right now, for a limited time, when you kill a raid boss for the first time, I am granting you an extra piece of loot of your choice from that raid boss or any other raid boss in that instance that you have killed. This is a great way to get pieces that rarely drop. Oh, there goes Lady Anaconda. Yes, you don't get bindings, you don't get legendaries, but the point is, oh wow, serpent shoulders. I forgot that's what she dropped. Yeah, that's great. The point is, you will, when you drop a boss for the first time, you're going to get a little prize. You're going to get a little cookie. And if you drop a boss world first, and I'm talking about multi-boxing, I'm not talking about this cheating where a bunch of one-boxers get together and gang up on an innocent raid boss. That's cheating, man. But if you do get a world first kill here, you get 2 pieces of armor of your choice, armor or weapon, granted, no matter how rare. So that means the first time you kill the Emperor with, and of course, you know, this is 5-man dungeons don't count when you're rolling 40. I was going to say the first time you kill the Emperor, you can get an Iron Foe, but none of that's actually going to be good for honored for 5-man dungeons. This is just raid dungeons, raid bosses like Molten Core, ZG, AQ20, AQ40. BWL. What am I leaving out? When we turn the instances back down to their normal population level, their normal party limit, we will discuss giving out extra prizes for your first time ever downing bosses in instances. But I think we're going to limit that to notoriously hard instances or instance bosses. Just because I don't have time to keep spawning gear for everybody. I don't think we're going to automate this. This is going to be like, is Fury Swipes on? Okay. Post it in the Discord, post your screenshot, and then when I see your screenshot in the Discord, I grant it to, you post it with your request, and I grant it to your character when I'm online. So, I don't expect this is going to be a highly populated server, guys, but it is going to be highly populated by multi-box characters. I don't even know how many is on right now in this alpha. 118 people on. Are they kidding? At 20 to 26? Wait a minute. Let's try that again. Who 0 to 60? Ah, there we go. 118 people on, including a bunch ass people in Blackrock Depths. I guess BRD's been real popular. ZG. Let's see who's taking advantage of ZG. How many? It's Best Beef. Does he have only 20? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope, he only has 20 in there. Good job, Best Beef. I don't have to smack you down. I think we turned the limit. We accidentally had the limit on ZG at 40 earlier today, but I think Chaos did get it turned off. So good on him. Kill this ectoplasm. Oh my goodness. Well, we better. Oh, we're dying. Druid of the Fang. Okay, let's find out why we're not rezzing. Why are we not rezzing? So let's look at my res code real quick. We gotta get the rezzing working. I'm gonna keep losing guys because they have no armor on. Alright, I'm gonna leave him dead for a second. Res them all. Let's get a bigger font. Bam. Okay, you can kind of see that, but it never works really well unless I turn it on bold. Yeah, look how visible that is. That's great. Okay. Res them all. Res them all. All right, one of my favorites. Okay, so if not unit raid, if not unit in raid, then be res party. I am in raid. If in combat, then battle res instead. If unit is dead, then return. If mana down greater than 0 and buff drink, then player. Oh, you know what it is? I'm checking if I have enough mana to cast the res. and I'm using level 60. I'm using level 60 mana values. So I'm not really going to change that. Too bad. Yeah, exactly. So sad. It's a sad, sad situation. This guy does not have his quick heal turned on, so I missed somebody. So let's just see how far we can go then, just by killing these Wailing Caverns elites. And one of the safest things you can do is just wait till your Earth Shock is up and not rely on Lightning Bolt, because relying on Lightning Bolt means you've got to do a 3-second cast or whatever it is. And ooh, that guy's going to be at the beginning of the dungeon, isn't he? Oh, son of a bitch. And we have no way to summon him. But there are no repops in any dungeon or raid. So he can just run tra-la-la through the dungeon. And in fact, I'm going to make it full screen. Running tra-la-la through the dungeon. Doesn't seem to be running very fast. Watch out for those bile toads. They'll rip your face off. Okay, which way are my boys? I guess my boys are this way. Oh, this guy's got some loot. Let's loot it. Watch out. Ooh, that's a shield. I'm putting it on. Watch out. Ooh, that's a really nice shield. Holy cow. It's a great skin. When you kill things outside right now, you need to loot fast. So be aware, loot fast, because things disappear really fast on the ground outside. Inside of dungeons, it looks like it's okay. Oh well. Oh, I better make sure stream is public. Yeah, there's only one guy watching, so. Okay. No, you're not the boss. You're the boss. You the boss. Man, look at all this nice loot. I'm just gonna keep looting on other people in every window, since, you know. Okay, I'm gonna drag out my Earth Shock so I can know when it's finished on cooldown. Do we have chain heal yet? I'm gonna check. I really am doing this just to roll chain heal. What's going on, Monique? I thought you were going to take a bath or something. What's up, Skullforge? Skullforge has been helping out a lot on the Discord server. Thank you very much for that. And his question is, does Shift tilde right click work to auto loot? Not Shift tilde. There's no. You just so you want everybody to try to loot something. Yes, you do tilde right click, and everybody will try to loot something if you have, you know, the same add-ons I do. And that is how you loot quest items that are supposedly, you know, single loot. Okay, everybody heal. Oh, that's good heals. That's good heals, man. Oh, that's a shield. I'm going to throw a shield on. In fact, you know what? I'm going to start putting some stuff on because there's no reason to walk around naked anymore. Yeah, there we go. There we go. 6 stamina. And this guy has got to... This guy has got to have the most gear on because... Bam. There you go. What level do I get chain heal? Tell me that. Ooh, shoulders. I'm taking them. Oh, rawhide shoulders. Come on, man. I do need another weapon for sure. So, you know, don't be too concerned about gearing up unless you're running 1x experience, which will be a lot of fun. All right, don't get me wrong. 1x experience is going to be a ton of fun, but don't worry too much about the gear and the loot until you hit level 60, and then really map out a strategy, how you're going to loot, how you're going to gear up, and do it fast because this situation where we're allowing 40 people to go into dungeons is not going to last very long. It's going to be over and you're going to be kicking yourself by the end of it because you missed it. So get your 40 working, or your 20. I mean, whatever you can run. You might not be able to run 40. But I mean, look at me. I'm running 40 and I've got a normal I9, I guess is what it's called. I don't know. What is this 7700K? I should know these things. I disregard the whole i9, i7, i5 thing because it's just so silly. I'm putting those mitts on. I'm getting some gloves. I don't care, man. Fiery Wrath. That's right. Bam. This is where having my fire totem would come in handy, because I would drop a fire nova totem for 1,000 damage total on the tick. And now we're level 24. We've definitely slowed down on the leveling. There's a grunt shield of agility. Somebody should pick that up and put it on. It's an I7. Chain heal is level 40. Whoa! Chain heal is level 40. Well, we need to get to level 40 then, because I want to see some chain somethings. My name is Chain It, and I want to be chaining it. Shambla. Got a cloak. Got a cloak. I should get that. Too lazy. Yeah, I gotta have my... Okay, this is gonna be bad because we definitely want AoE. But what's Chain Lightning? I bet Chain Lightning's way up there, like near level 60. That would suck. You think I should have Chain Lightning? Level 20? I don't have it. I wasn't level 20 when I was at the vendor just now. I was level 16. So I should go back and get it. I'm going to take a peek here. Slippers of the Whale. It's male, so pick everything up here. You need the money. So there's no real income streams on this server aside from vendoring items. So the double items really help with that. Pick them all up and make sure you don't waste anything, vendor everything, and you'll be fine. It doesn't cost any money to doesn't actually cost any money to train your spells or respec. So and you don't actually take armor from monsters beating on you here. So you still take armor damage from dying, but you don't take any from just monsters beating on you. So if you res at the angel or something, you're going to take your oh, there we go. There we go. I'm taking my mace. Bam. Runic staff. Easy throw dynamite. I'll just have somebody pick up that stuff. Just I'm making my front guy the best I can make him. We're gonna they've got some of those little fairy dragons. They're so cool. Oh, level 32 for chain lightning. Alright. So, glad you looked that up, because oh. Let's see, somebody's not following. ORDR, order. Order's not following. That means he's probably chatting in his window. But I can't find him. Order. Looking. Ah, there he is. Are you chatting in your window, sucker? Why you no follow? Oh, you never knitted. Come on. Let me tell my Discord server that I'm streaming right now. I'm gonna jump on Teamspeak in case you wanna join me on Teamspeak. Always a better stream if somebody joins me on Teamspeak.
Connected.
But I gotta turn off my voice in my mic. There we go. All right, join me on Teamspeak at draymond.teamspeak3.com. Draymond, not Draymond, not like Draymond Green. And let's make this window a little bigger. Oh, I got turned around. Which way are we going? Dead bodies that way. Dead bodies that way. Did I kill a boss? Oh no. Here we go. A couple of other little bennies of running on this server that I want to.
User entered your channel.
That I want to share with you. Oh, it must be Dave. Run back from the graveyard is absurdly fast. And if that's Dave, I'm not hearing you, bro.
It's not Dave.
Oh, it's not.
But you can call me Dave if you want.
All right. Is it Skullforged?
It is, buddy. My name's Kevin, by the way.
Oh, hi, Kevin. Second Kevin. Valatorn's name is Kevin, too.
Oh, no.
So
well, he's Kevin, too. I called him.
You have to be
What's going
Kevin.
on? Yeah, man, that run speed is quite a nice feature on this server.
So you're going to have to get used to it on doing things like walking up the chain in Blackrock Spire and making the jump across. But there's clever little things you can do to make it work. But I'm not changing it right now. So just try to make it work. is what I'm saying. And yeah, you can just go around the normal way. You can go up the stairs the normal way, but again, anytime you want, you can just walk backwards, and backwards walking when you're dead is the same speed as, is not multiplied.
Right.
So if you have to do anything really tricky, just have all you guys follow you and walk backwards. So 7700, I should have known, is an i7 because of the first digit.
Yes.
That's how you tell them apart. And really,
Yeah, I don't put too much stock in that, other than
number
if
of
it's
cores.
like an i3, you know that it's a lot less powerful.
No,
but-
listen, man. You got to put stock in that because it determines how many cores
Right. So those will
are
be
in.
higher speed for non multitasking.
Look,
situations.
with multi-boxing, cores is everything. The number of cores in your CPU determines how many boxes you can run. Period. It's not so much determined by clock speed, although that has a big effect on it. That has an effect, but cores has a much bigger effect than clock speed.
Getting all those threads out.
So this is why these massive multi-core processors running at 2 gigahertz are a much better choice for multi-boxing, something like this. So let's get to 32 so we can get our chain lightning. Did you say what? You said chain heal is 40. Fine.
Yeah, it's 40, unfortunately.
That's fine. We're gonna.
It's not too bad on our server.
Yeah, I mean,
On some of the past, that would have been quite a mountain.
so how are you liking the server?
I am loving the server.
You are loving the server. All right.
Loving it.
That's what I want to hear.
Absolutely. Having direct access to the developers of the server is probably the best feature, and then all of the features are the second best. Which is, I mean, there's too many to list. I don't know what you've gone over or what we're.
Yeah, I mean, if people tune into these things at different times, so don't be afraid to mention the things that you really like.
Every single thing that annoys you on a normal server. Number one, it's all multi-boxers, so there's no having to,
Hide.
skirt around. Yeah, hide basically from admins or from players or whatever. You're not going to get griefed by single players that are just trying to kill your main guy or try to bait
What?
you into PvP.
You might. It's allowed. It's allowed. So, but you can fight back on this server. So, anybody who tries to do that
Right.
is gonna have a hard time.
That's right.
But
That's
come
just
at me, bro. That's what I'm saying. Come at me.
40-man, 5-man raids, as you see right here, is just, and it's limited. It's a catch-up mechanic, but it's great. It's fantastic. It really makes the whole process a lot quicker.
Basically, we're offering this temporarily as a catch-up mechanic, like you said, because we all come from other servers, and we want to play here. We want to set this up as a very fun place we can come when we're away from our guild or whatever on another server, and we can really have a home away from home, or even make this your home. I will always have a home on VG, on Vanilla Gaming, but I will probably play here more, to be honest, a lot more than VG now, because first of all, there's a lot to do. There's a lot for me personally to get done here, and there's not a lot for me left to do on VG. I've got a little 40 Shaman project on VG2, but frankly, it's not that exciting. It's not nearly as exciting to me as 40 Shaman here, because of what you see right now. I never have to break them apart. I can always keep them together in raid, and it just tickles you in a gaming way that you love being tickled. because here you are, you're turning your childhood memories into something crazy different, but at the same time similar, and bring back old memories, and meanwhile leveling 40 people at a time. I mean, hey, that ain't bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. And I mean, we've got just so many features for multi-boxing. It's crazy right now.
I did notice that we did get class quests onto the trainer today. Um, However, shaman do not get their totems from the trainer, so we're gonna have to fix that, or we have to go get our totems manually.
Hopefully it's the former. But yeah, we've got almost every class quest. I think I skipped out on a couple there, like Teleport Moonglade on Druids, for example. You get that with the Bear quest, but
Thank you for that, by the way. Skullforge, who's talking, is the guy who actually codified all the class quests for us today and allowed Chaos to get it up really fast in just less than an hour from requesting it, which was nice. Okay, so this is the thing that always happens to me in Wailing Caverns. I'm lost, and I know there's some kind of jump down, and I think I'm gonna do that. But I'm afraid the jump down is like what you do when you leave. So I am.
Yeah, it's kind of tough with the delay, and also it's a kind of a very similar looking cavern.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think if you keep your heading from the beginning, then
You know what? I'm portaling. I'm gonna portal.
you're kind of out leveling it anyway.
Yeah, I kind of leveled out of this place. So where should I go now? And I'm actually going to use my GM powers to move around a little bit.
I would say, yeah, especially for the stream content, I would say Thousand Needles is really nice. That's
Thousand
what
Needles,
I did.
okay.
Needles into Perilous.
That's not a bad idea. So let's.
Once you get Chain Lightning online, you're gonna start being able to AOE grind, and the absolute best I would say is the Pirates in Tanaris. They're like you can start at 40. But with another feature on our server, which is the, I believe, 90-second respawn timers on mobs in the open world, the really nice AoE farming spots are even nicer than you remember.
Really, the respawn timers are different than normal.
Yeah, well, VG is 5 minutes, and classic WoW will be 5 minutes.
Okay.
That's what it was. But
Okay.
ours is 90 seconds.
Ours is 90 seconds. Okay.
Yes. I believe to facilitate the fact that you probably have 40 people there, and if it was 5 minutes, you could clear an area in a minute and
Yeah.
have to wait. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a really nice pace, I'd say. Yeah, there are at the north part of the zone, right above the Horde city, there are a bunch of centaurs you want to go kill.
North part of the zone. Oh, those guys. Oh, I remember those guys.
Yeah.
But you can get swarmed by those guys pretty fast. So we have to be careful and nibble.
Yeah. Well, you have 40 people, so.
Oh, I know. I mean, they won't wipe us, but they will like kill one guy, and that'll be annoying.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to. It's tough. Yeah, you got it on your map there, but it's tough. I'm trying to write something for low level resin because I ran into the same issue and I just manually changed it.
Oh, you
But
did?
I want it to be based on. I don't know the percentage would work because the better gear you get would throw that off at higher level.
I don't know. I think percentage might work. I think there's probably a better function like spell can be cast or something that we should find. And actually, I'm in the wrong place. This is the boiling elemental. So let's get out.
Yeah,
of here.
that's something I'm going to definitely focus on is leveling up new characters. As I level up new characters, figuring out what exactly can be tweaked to make it work really well while not affecting your level 60 group at all or the performance or anything like that.
It's just some bad code I wrote. I mean,
Well, I was trying to
5 minute
say
multi-boxing is filled with corners cut and really is focused on level 60 and mostly works well at level 60. So certainly works perfectly for me. Um,
Well, that's part of the fun, and that's what a lot of us enjoy about it, and about multi-boxing in general, is it's not just playing the game; it's creating the ultimate tool to be able to control your characters in the best way you can. So, modifying your characters, modifying your code, that's all part of the fun.
Yeah, and a lot of people have to understand that the reason that I pick vanilla, the reason I pick vanilla is vanilla has a programmer's interface, almost a full API that allows any player to do very powerful things and make decisions based on what's going on in the game, in a way that I don't know any other game in history had. And it was so powerful they got rid of it immediately as soon as they released the first expansion. So everything you see us doing here, all this decision making that goes on, all of these rotations, uh, uh, these special buttons that we make to do things like summon a guy, summon a guy with one button. Um, all of that stuff goes away on the next expansion, and no other game has anything like it. And this is why we love vanilla so much, because it becomes kind of a script writer's paradise. It's a fun puzzle game for somebody who likes writing scripts and likes coding in behaviors for their players. And it's all legal. It was all legal in WoW to do what we're doing right now. We don't do anything illegal in 5-minute multi-boxing. If Blizzard made a better decision about World of Warcraft Classic and used this version instead of putting basically a skin pack over the latest World of Warcraft version, we would have been much happier, because all of this would have been possible to do on World of Warcraft Classic. Now, it was obvious Blizzard didn't want to do that. Blizzard back in the day, and I can tell you, I can review because I can review the blue posts about this with you, because I was one of the most vocal when they moved away from it, and I was on the forums all the time complaining bitterly that this was a bad move, don't move away from it, blah blah blah. And the blues would say things like, we don't want WoW to be a one-button game, and we don't want WoW to be a battle of programmers. Well, I do want WoW to be a battle of programmers, and I loved it when it was a battle of programmers. What other game is? So it was a sad day, and we have to just move on, deal with it. But we can relive the past, and we will always have private servers like this hosted in the EU or elsewhere, out of the reach of Blizzard, so that we can play their old game, not necessarily the way they meant it to be played, but the way it should have been played. And my motto here is, if you can kill it here, you can kill it in WoW Classic, because the bosses, hopefully, now I haven't really vetted the bosses too hard, but the bosses here will hopefully be as hard and similar in every way to the bosses you meet on WoW Classic. And you will have to know boss fights to kill bosses. That is the fact. You'll have to know the boss fights. So if you can multi-box here and kill bosses here, you are qualified to be a raid leader in World of Warcraft Classic, and you will be a great raid leader. You will be a very frustrated raid leader too, because your raiders will not behave the way your multi-box slaves behave. They always follow orders.
Every time.
Even if those orders might not be the right ones. They'll be like, "Yes, boss, I'll do that, boss."
Hey, I wanted to add something on the programmer's paradise thing. To anybody who's listening or watching in the future that is intimidated by us talking about editing code or what have you, this is probably, I would say, the best possible introduction to programming. Number one, because it's in a game, and the feedback you get is your characters doing things and performing better, doing what you want them to do, which is a lot more satisfying when you're building something that's a part of you having fun, and that's gonna
That's a very
give you
interesting
more
point.
praise.
That you know,
And it's
that's a
also a
point I've
lot
never really.
more simple, I think,
Uh, uh,
compared to like, not to say that this isn't very complicated, it is in certain ways, but if you throw somebody into you know learning Java or something compared to learning LUA and HockeyNet, I would tell people to learn LUA and HockeyNet a lot before I tell them to learn Java.
yeah. Well, that you know what, Kevin, that's a great point, and I love that you made it. Um, it shouldn't be underestimated and understated the amount of coding you will learn if you choose to look into it, if you choose to look behind the curtain and see how things work. Now, you don't need to know any code to use 5-minute multiboxing. Let's get that right out front.
Right.
All you need to know how to do, and by the way, not everybody does. All you need to know how to do is edit a text file, all right? And put things on different lines. That's all you need to know how to do. And if you can do that, 5-minute multiboxing will do the rest for you. You just need to know the commands, know the button presses. I don't have a lot. In fact, you know what? I'm going to bring up my keyboard so that people can see the button presses. Meanwhile, FSRockT has chimed in and said, "Hi, is this server up for public yet? Standing at the entrance of MC on VG and thinking if I really should run it or not." Not. Don't. Don't do it. I'm glad you're back playing again, but really, wait till Chaos is on. Ask him for 40 accounts here, and he'll make it in 2 seconds for you, and start leveling like I am right now. Start leveling here. You're just going to be hooked so fast that you won't even believe it. You won't even be able to play anywhere else. And there's a lot to conquer here. Let me find my keyboard thing first, guys. Oh, is anybody dying? Nobody's dying. But see all those yellow frames? That means people are standing behind you. You don't want yellow frames. Where's my keyboard thing? Man, I always lose it. It's not on that one. It's on old C. No board. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to throw this up so it'll be there in the corner so you can see what keys I'm pressing. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger. I think that's fine. You won't get the keys on the right, but you don't really, well, you should be able to see the arrow keys. Yeah, so FSRockT actually wrote much of 5-minute multiboxing. Some of the more advanced functions like auto trading and auto enchanting. Auto enchanting is just one of my favorites that he did for us. He also wrote the one-button Warlock summon. So, thanks, FS. Glad to see you playing again. I haven't seen you on in a long time.
Yeah, thank you, FS. I use your summon every single time one of my guys is randomly halfway across the zone.
Exactly, and honestly, I don't think I've written much of anything in a while, anything significant in a while, and this guy's meanwhile has, written 1,000 lines at least, maybe 2,000 lines of debugged code. As part of the 8,500 line 5-minute multiboxing, so good on him. Anyways, it's important to get him interested in the game again, so he'll start coding again, He's one of our real code gurus. And we have a Discord server. This is actually a really good moment to mention the Discord server. Go to 5minutemultiboxing.com, click on the link to the Discord server, join the Discord server. It's just chat, it's text chat, it's not a voice server, so you can see what we're talking about. You can see how we're coming to decisions on this server. And, you know, we talk about everything. We talk about VG, we talk about, you know, we talk about the weather. I'm the only one who talks about the weather. And
well, it's so nice there. I don't want to talk about the weather here.
Well, it just got nice. We've got a nice day going on.
So you can't fool me. I've lived there. It's always nice.
Yeah, it wasn't when we were choking on smoke a week ago. That was not nice.
Not really weather.
I am running much, but not coding ATM. All right. Well, run your ass over here. Do you want my alliance team? I will give it to you. I've got 40 alliance. They have almost no gear on, but I'm not going to be playing them. So I would love for you to, I don't know, hook up with alliance and apply your FS Rock T magic to problems like blessing choosing and what else did they do? Aura choosing. Never alliance. Oh man, bunch of anti-alliance people out here. Jeez.
It's just you playing, and then you realize something doesn't work exactly how you want it, and then an hour later you've written 500 lines of code.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I expect him to do. That's what I would do, and I'm just kind of burned out on the coding side for a little while. I'm gonna get my second wind here pretty soon, and I'm gonna be doing something epic. But for now,
I think this server is going to bring in more people than you think. Honestly,
I don't think so. I mean, I'm gonna be happy if we can get if we can get 20 people on at one time.
The amount of people that I've talked to, that I've told about multi-boxing, and now that I can bring them to a server that it's going to be fantastic for them, it's a totally different thing, because not everybody has, you know, the kind of time that I have, for example.
Well, your lips to God's ears, man. Hopefully this thing blows up, and you know, we have a whole bunch of multi-boxers running around. By the way, I did the calculation. If we get just 50 people running 40 tunes, right, that's 2,400 on at one time. Now this server can handle, I believe Chaos said this server, by the way, it's a very nicely spec server. This server can handle, yeah, he said, I thought he said 20,000.
I think he said 10 to 15,000.
10 to 15,000, okay. Something so
like I know it was more than what, you know, I don't want to name drop any of the big servers, but you guys know what they are. More than they'll allow on at once, definitely.
Well, there are some automatic queue limits that kick in after a certain amount of players, but we're never going to hit those. Right? Well, no, we do, because they're character based. We will hit those. So we're going to have to relax those a bit.
Yeah. A big thing about the, you know, from old servers that gave up, and their 12,000 caps, it wasn't necessarily a hardware limitation. It was having 12,000 different people all running around on what at that point becomes a really small place with 12,000 people. You know, if you have 20,000 people in Vanilla WoW, you can't take a left turn without running into somebody. But when you're multi-boxing, everyone is doing their own thing. You're all doing raids or what have you. So
yeah, it's not like 40 people running in 40 different directions. So exactly. You really do have to divide by 40 or divide by 20 or, you know, whatever the case may be. So we're at level 30 right now. I'm still looking for that chain lightning. We're gonna make it happen.
You can start moving your way up to Shimmering Flats. The mobs there are 31 to 38.
Okay.
And
I think I'm
did that to 40, and then I went straight to Tanaris. or Tannerus. I realized that some people say that, which I think is wrong.
Oh man, I was judging you. I was judging you. Oh,
You're
Tanaris. Oh, Tanaris. I see. I will meet you at Tanaris.
uh, well, that's the thing, you know. I when I first started playing this game, shoot, I was 14, you know, so um, I just sort of played it solo up until 60. So how I pronounce everything is just how I pronounce it in my head.
Yep, you got the reader's vocabulary, like a lot of people. I mean, I still say Sholomance. I know that's not how they pronounce it at the Blizz convention, but I don't care.
What is it,
Sholomance.
Skolomance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always pronounce it that way for some reason. But yeah, I mean that happens a lot with books, like you said. Yeah, it's
Especially
how it is.
fantasy names and words.
Yes,
But, you know, the nerds there,
especially
they
when they
will
mention
hammer you.
Pokemon books.
I
They mention
think
like
you
that's not
mean.
it.
I think you mean Skolomance.
Exactly. But yeah.
Oh,
So
Monique
what
has been to
are
several BlizzCons, and um,
oh
there are there are guys who stand in the crowd during the dev chats, and they will, especially one or two guys, they'll just be like, um in um in the first expansion, Arthas was said to be related to, and then they'll stump the devs, and the devs will be like, we didn't know, sorry, okay,
right.
uh, we're sorry we lost track of that bit of lore, and they'll just pin them down on any deviation
Well,
from
if you
correct
follow
lore.
modern WoW, it's jumped the shark so many times. I mean, there's multiple dimensions. They're in space. I mean,
Yes,
it's
wow,
gone
in
all kinds of
space.
years on us. And so and there's 20 novels, graphic novels on top of old Warcraft 3, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 1, Orcs vs Humans, every expansion, every patch of every expansion. There's so much lore. I don't think they could pay a guy enough to keep track of it perfectly.
When I bought the deluxe edition of Wrath of the Lich King, it came with a DVD where they had one of the primary writers, okay, one of the primary lore crafters, and she was on the DVD, and she was talking about the lore and stuff. She was psycho, dude. Psycho. First of all, she's very strange looking, and it was like she lived it. She talked about all of these
Well, you
characters
got to.
like they were real, and it's kind of like how some people treat their pets like people. Well, she was treating all her characters in WoW like they were real people. So it's kind of weird, and in a fun way, but also kind of a
Right.
strange way.
Well, I think why they picked someone like that was most certainly because Warcraft was already an established IP, which most MMO launches aren't. They don't already have pre-existing lore, so they can kind of just wing it, and whatever they make is what it is. But since they were starting from a place where all these characters already exist, that they had to have somebody that had to be very particular about that
Oh, I'm already
because
level 32, by the way. But go on.
there you go. No, it's just Blizzard has a really high standard for their story, especially when WoW came out. And I remember how excited everybody was to be. I mean, the transition from a RTS and playing as your characters and then seeing them in an MMO was really groundbreaking for sure. So they really had to probably get someone who was that anal about it to not mess everything up.
All right, I'm gonna get these guys to the trainer again and get them their chain lightning, just because I feel like it. And I've got my run speed on my GM turned up to 20x, so it's kind of hard to control, but I'm getting it done.
Right.
I just
No,
don't know
it's
the name of the trainers. Otherwise, I would have teleported right to him. So instead, I'm walking to him.
that works too. No, I approve, and anybody who says you shouldn't do this is wrong because um, it's a fast experience either way. But this is a much better streaming experience for
exactly,
everyone.
I really actually, guys, I am a gamer and I have not spawned one copper for myself. I have not created an item, and I won't. I just won't. Don't I don't believe I would ever have fun if I simply
Right.
created stuff for myself. So, but I'm fast forwarding the gaming. I'm fast forwarding the travel experience just for the sake of the stream right now. Um,
Yeah, it's like cheating in a single player game. You know, multi-boxing, we have a community here where you can share your triumphs and talk with people about strategies and stuff like that, but the real fun comes from overcoming challenges, you know, creating your characters, creating your group in a way that, you know, can defeat content and it's just you. You were talking about being the perfect raid leader. You know, for some people, this might be the first time they're ever a raid leader, and that's because you're the only person there. So you need to know that fight inside and out, and that's one part of the challenge.
I'm really looking forward to people who have never led a raid, who to learn these old fights that really crafted, that really influenced every single MMO in the beginning, and certainly influenced the direction that Blizzard went later on. They made a lot of decisions based on, how the raids went in vanilla. That's the fact. They made a lot of decisions based on that, their findings. Naturally, they would. One of the funny stories that I've told it before on the stream, that I read about in the nonfiction book that just came out about the beginnings of WoW, was that when they first created Molten Core, they did it in a week. All right, they never created a raid that fast again, or before that. And to test it, they had a bunch of the employees form a raid and play test it. They got their asses kicked over and over and over again. They said, and they just couldn't do it. They couldn't kill any of the bosses. The trash was rocking their world, and the managers of Blizzard, to their credit, said, "It's just because you guys suck. We're gonna leave it the way it is." And they did, and they were proven right because real raiders jumped in and finished all the content. And it just goes to show that, raiding is kind of an art. It's a science. It's a management technique, and a good raid leader will get you there. A bad raid leader will give you a really, really hard time. Will
Yeah,
make your life miserable.
WoW's challenge in a raid is a lot different than where their philosophy ended up and where it is now, which is, I believe it's a lot more punishing in mechanics are a lot more punishing in vanilla if you don't do them correctly. Um,
It's gone up and down through the years. All right, let's be clear. There were times there are times, and we play live here. We know live, and
right.
we haven't skipped much of live, but there are times when they made the raids really easy, and there are times when they made the raids way too hard. So they've gone. It's kind of been a pendulum with them.
But the philosophy has changed, I think, from when they created raids in vanilla, they did not create them with the intention of normal people beating them at all. If you look at Sethune, an average WoW player wouldn't even get to him, much less would participate in the fight. And you look at Naxxramas, same thing.
Yep. Yep. I
They didn't
mean,
have any intention of normal people doing that. They put that in there to be an epic thing, to create a lot of flavor in the community, to have um, classes within the community, and that really creates a really rich fabric. And I think that's why a lot of people really want Classic back, is because everything isn't just handed to everyone. Now, I'm not saying that
oh, that's for sure.
Mythic isn't difficult. I've rated it is, but it's a different type of challenge, and the difference between heroic and mythic is extremely difficult, but the prestige is almost, I mean, it's completely out of WoW. No one knows if someone's good or not by looking at them or talking to them. So, but when you
Imagine um, the lust that is going to exist on the WoW Classic server for that next gear. And imagine the victory that it's going to be when that first raid actually kills KT. By the way, it ain't going to happen that fast. I mean, yes, there are a lot of guilds out there who are going to jump to WoW Classic, and they've killed KT on vanilla servers. They know what they're doing. They know how to do it. Still, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while because you have to have the gear, you have to have the resist gear in particular, you have to have 8 tier 2 geared warriors, if you guys don't know, to kill 4 horsemen. Otherwise, you're going to wipe. And if you guys don't know, that makes it so your taunt can't be resisted. It gives you enough hit.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, if you don't have that, if you miss a taunt...
If you miss a taunt, you wipe. Okay, alright.
One taunt. So, and that's 8 geared warriors. You heard me, guys. 8.
8 geared warriors.
That's going to take a while. That's a lot of...
8 warriors with unresistible taunts.
Yes. So, a lot of people think that it's going to be like it is on, some of these classic servers where people are able to gear up a lot quicker than they would in what Classic will be.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine people who ran Nax in Wrath of the Lich King coming over here to this Nax?
Oh, jeez.
Thinking they're just going to stroll in.
Funny story about that. I created a Death Knight. I made a Death Knight in Wrath of the Lich King, and I was not even level 80. And we had already cleared Nax.
You'd already cleared Nax. Yeah, see, that's the way it was. That's the way it was. It was soft Nax.
We all had greens on and like quest blues, and everybody went into it thinking, okay, we just came out of Sunwell, right? I was in a Bleeding Edge guild, Gwen Stefani at the time, and so we just came out of Sunwell.
Gwen Stefani guild. Do you remember Gwen Stefani guild? Seems to ring a bell. All right. What server?
I think I changed servers because I was in Surge on Burning Blade in vanilla.
Okay.
I believe it was Sargeras or...
I don't know. I think Monique had done some open raid with that guild, by the way.
I couldn't tell you. It's been so
Anyways.
long.
Anyway, go on.
Yes. It was just kind of funny seeing that it had fallen from where it had been.
Oh,
I
yeah.
cleared 11 out of 14 on vanilla.
Were you guys laughing the whole time? You cleared 11 of 14 on vanilla in Nax?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think Monique got 1. I think Monique got patchwork once, and that's it.
17 maybe, so no job. Barely went to school. So I was, people back then had no issue playing 12 hours a day, and I'm not
tell me about
exaggerating.
Tell me about it.
So, yeah, I remember vanilla fondly, and I agree with you completely that being able to have more access to what your characters are doing is better.
I'm telling you, man, I'm just going to be tickled by the people rolling into Nax for the first time, thinking, oh, man, okay, let's go kill KT. Let's go kill KT. And then they come to the first trash pool. And they're running back from the graveyard. What the hell went on, man?
People don't realize, I don't think people have the time to do what we did back then. These private servers make it a lot easier. There's a huge number of conveniences that didn't exist, number one. And number two, people... I guess, there will be people that do it that are just better. But these people that are coming back to Classic after not having played on vanilla servers for the past 9 years, it's going to be really rough for them. Going to DM to get your buffs and then getting your world buffs for every attempt, for your progressive pushes.
Oh gosh, really? Is that what they do? I didn't even remember that part.
Yeah, so I actually...
What buff did they get in DM? for the poll? I don't.
DM tribute. I don't recall all of the
Yeah. You know what? It
specifics.
is coming back to me a little bit.
There,
Oh, you know what? You know what the Horde would do? They would mind control a paladin, and they would
yes,
get kings.
absolutely. Well, if so, we were on a PvP server, and the majority of our guild had alliance characters also.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you guys are also remember that world bosses were a thing in vanilla, and being able to control world bosses on a PvP server is very important. Now, it was frowned upon, I would say, by Blizzard, but it was not really enforced that you couldn't, you know, be on both sides because you had to have two accounts. You could not create
Right.
a
Right.
horde
You
enemy.
had to have two accounts in the beginning. That's
Yeah,
right.
and
And
then
we
there were
did. I mean, we
alliances.
definitely had multiple accounts on both sides. We were ate up with WoW. Hey, FS Rock, it's gonna be probably today or tomorrow when it opens. Um, Not quite sure. Uh, we
I believe we're waiting on people being able to register their own accounts, correct?
Right,
So
right.
that
We're waiting on the website coming up, and it's not quite in my control right now. So DM
there you
North
go.
buffs is DM tribute plus 15 max
Yeah, he's
hit
done it
points,
recently. I haven't done
200
it
AP,
so long.
3% spell crit. Yep.
Yeah, so and it's as you can see, 15% max health on some fights is just required until you outgear it through Nax gear.
Oh, it just
Um,
drives me crazy. I don't like using consumables. So
oh,
every boss I ever kill, it's no consumables.
yeah.
I
So we were pretty much maxed on our buff slots. I don't know if you know this, but Vanilla has a buff cap, and most people don't know that because they don't drink 9 elixirs and go get every world buff. But you can do that. Almost every single thing stacks in vanilla. So scrolls and potions, elixirs, flasks, everything stacks. I remember, and even on my, I won't mention the name of the server because I don't want to promote any other private servers, but a certain instant 60 5-man focused vanilla server. My best in slot geared feral tank has I think 15,600 health.
I saw you mentioning
Yeah,
that. I did see you mention that
it's
on Discord, and I was like,
outrageous.
hmm.
It's
But I also
outrageous.
wondered, why what can you do with feral tanks beyond molten core? I mean, I
So
find that
everything.
their utility goes way down beyond that.
So they're not a. Uh, Let me put this in a way that would put them in the best light. I would not consider them to be a main tank, except for a few specific fights. Do have their advantages. What they bring is that when you get to ultra bleeding edge Nax, the reason why you need a feral tank in Nax is that feral tanks provide the highest threat per second of any tank. Well, there's only two tanks. I don't paladins and shaman. That's silly, but in terms of threat per second, you just cannot beat a maxed out druid. They have like 45% crit with buffs. They're doing a tremendous amount of damage. They're almost doubling a warrior's damage.
Yeah, yeah,
Even with Wind Fury Totem, if you give a druid Grace of Air,
yeah.
it's yeah, there you go. He's flying. He's going over everything. I mean, I don't do any of that like I used to because I'm not raiding. I'm not preparing to raid for 12 hours. But so let
That was
me.
another problem with rating, and this is another thing that is a highlight on this server. If you only want to do a little bit at a time, you have that choice here because I have turned off all repops in all raids on this server. So you clear trash once,
Yes.
and that means you can play for 20 minutes and walk away. Leave your characters in the raid, come back 20 minutes later, 2 hours later, do a little more. You don't have to, burn 3 hours in a sitting just to get to Major Domo because you're afraid trash is going to repop. So this was one of the aspects of this server that I really stood on and I really wanted to happen, and it supposedly has happened. I don't know if it's working yet, so I have to check. But
From what I've tested, it is. And also, I will note that instances don't reset themselves
ever?
until you reset them. I mean, when we reset the server, it might, but I cleared half of BRD and I came back maybe 5 hours later, and half of BRD was cleared. So
Okay, that's 5 hours. Maybe that's okay. If
but you can reset it whenever you want, clicking
sure,
that.
sure, sure, sure. That's good though. That's good
Yeah,
because
that's what I like. That's
Ubers
exactly what I wanted.
Ubers can take a while. And now you can go through Ubers, you can clear up to Rend. Maybe you got to go to bed. Maybe it took a long time to get to Rend, um, and you can log out and come back. Maybe I don't know about dungeons. Don't quote me on dungeons really. But by the way, FS Rock, we need a function on Multibox WoW where if you open a trainer, it simply trains everything, because that just took me 15 minutes to train my spells, practically, and I'm only level 32, so yikes. We definitely need that in sooner rather than later. If you don't write it, I will. But
I agree with that. That'd be nice. Um, yeah, server is great. Stability is 100%. There's no issues whatsoever. There's no lag. There's no weird glitchy mobs. All the pathfinding works properly. Pets work properly. I mean,
let's do the GM who.
can't ask for too much more. I mean, you can. If you come on Discord, you will see a lot of us asking for various things, but
Only 114 people on. Well, we did only assign a very limited number of people to this server right now for the alpha. But if you have a Project Azeroth login, you can log in right now. You simply need to point your realm list to Project Azeroth and log in like you used to on Project Azeroth. This is formerly Project Azeroth, and it is where we were playing earlier this year, and we were all very sad to see it go, and we're very happy to see it back. So everybody has chain heal now. Woo! Let's bring our guys back and at least see a chain heal before we wrap this up.
You mean chain lightning?
Chain lightning. Don't lightning
yourself.
Let's. Where can we?
You can in the arena in Org if you want.
Where can we get in the arena?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, have you shown anybody? Have you shown the stream flight points yet?
No, they don't know about that.
Oh.
So
you guys are just in for a lot of just great features.
Yeah. Let's. Well, I actually don't know if I have much money. I guess we have a lot of money. We have enough money for a flight, I guess, from looting and wailing caverns.
You can go to Ratchet, maybe.
Yeah, let's show them. Let's show them what flights look like here. Yeah, we could. I'll head over to Crossroads, I guess.
I can log in and give you a gold if you need it. It's worth showing people. So think about every single thing that annoys you in multiboxing on a non-multiboxing vanilla server, and then pretty much, for the most part, this server is the exact opposite of all those things. You keep all the challenge, keep all of the fulfillment you get from downing bosses. Nothing is easier in terms of killing things. What is easier is getting around and leveling your characters.
That's right. When you see someone walking around here in purples, you will know that they earned what they got, and that's the important part. So, ooh, Crossroads is 1 silver. Damn you! Oh.
Hey, notice stream. Notice how he has every single flight point. I don't think he went there. When did you go to Moonblade?
Yeah, I have Rutherford Village. How do I have Rutherford Village? I'm Horde.
Well, actually, so yeah, it's a little tweak. There are some Alliance ones on there that Chaos needs to fix up. but it's an alpha, and we're still working on a couple things, and that's why we're on there is we're testing because there are a couple alliance ones split in there, and you might land in one and I'll die, but that's part of the fun. That will
Uh,
be fixed, of course.
okay, okay.
But yeah, if you try to fly to Winterspring right now, you will end up in a Shara in the Alliance flight point and die.
Oh, all right,
That
fine.
happened to me and one other guy. But it's an alpha or beta, whatever we're calling it, and that's why we're here and doing that.
I think everything's free for me as a GM, so I'm just gonna fly as a GM.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
don't have enough money. I'm sorry, man. I'm not making money. I am not making money. So, people, if you want to see the craziness of the flight pass here, you're just gonna have to log in tomorrow or Sunday and see for yourself, because I am not spawning money.
Not
That's
even GMs get stuff for free.
no, not this GM, not this GM. So let's just put it this way: you're in for a very pleasant surprise on the flight pass, and trust me on that one. So
Absolutely.
I'm going I'm going to make this in my home though, because I forgot to do that a few days ago. I shouldn't do that actually, because I may have to do my Earth Totem quest, and it begins down
Yeah.
in my start area. So, and you know what? I'm actually just gonna portal there right now, and I'll log out there. Not a long stream tonight, guys. More of an intro and some fun. We're gonna have a long stream soon. I'll be streaming again something significant like I suspect you're gonna get a as much molten core as I can do uh, one night this week, and it's gonna be a challenge. It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna be sad, and I'm going to try to down some bosses besides Lucifron, which is the only boss I believe I have downed. I may have gotten Gehennis, but I don't remember. I mean, I have some gear in my packs. All right, so clearly I've done some stuff. I just don't remember. It was all back in March, April time frame, and really don't recall what I did. I do know we do have a guy in our Discord in our guild named Che, and he has 5 bosses down in Molten Core here. So he's the guy to beat. We're all chasing him, and he went through hell to get those bosses. So one thing to know um, is that there's less of a focus on trash being crazy here. Trash is a bit lighter, a bit easier to get through, so you're not spending all night on trash. So keep that in mind. The bosses, though, are unchanged. What's up, Kaloyan? You got me right at the end of the stream, man. So rewatch the stream, and I will check in with you guys. Hopefully, it's up tomorrow. Hopefully, our page is up tomorrow. Keep checking back at multiboxwow.com and see if the page is up, and join my Discord server. It's a very, very busy server, very active. A lot of very nice guys who will help you through your first multiboxing experience, which can be very tricky at first. I've tried to make videos to make it simpler, but somehow it just never works out, and it always turns into a big chore to get it working. On 5-minute multiboxing, it turns out to be, 3.5-day multiboxing for so many people. And it's never like the video. Unless you're using Windows 7, then you're probably going to be okay. You'll probably be up in 5 minutes if you're using Windows 7. Unless you disregard something that's written in big letters like uninstall the NVIDIA experience. By the way, I'm going to make it work with the NVIDIA experience. I think mainly, I don't know, maybe it can't work with NVIDIA experience. I'm not sure. But I do think I'm going to move the focus key from F10 because there are just too many mouse drivers that are hijacking F10. So I think I'm going to put the focus key on button 9. Yeah, I think I'm going to put the focus key on button 9 from now on, and lose F10 for good, because it's just caused too many problems and too many incompatibilities with people whose system hijacks F10. So, yes, it's my server. Your CPU will melt if you run more than 15 boxes. Well, maybe now is the time to consider a better CPU.
Intel plug. Wait, do I get 25 for being in stream with you?
It might be time to consider upgrading. This is the killer app that you will use your entire CPU with. And all hardware is driven by a killer app. All of this stuff is driven by a killer app. That's why CPUs stagnated for years, because there was nothing that really needed 16 cores. And the killer app became Bitcoin mining. So once Bitcoin mining came out, well, people were interested in more and more powerful CPUs. Well, then the GPUs took over. Then the CPUs languished because GPUs were better than CPUs for Bitcoin mining. But this is the app that will use all of your cores. This is the app that will use all your CPUs. This is the app that will stress that shiny new computer that you bought that's going to be obsolete in a month and a half. I have 3 computers here, all right? They are various ages. This one is a KB Lake. It's fairly new. It's about a year old, maybe a little more. This one is a Skylake, which is probably 3 or 4 years old, and then I have a Broadwell server over there, a Broadwell PC over there that is 5 or 7 years old. They all work great for multiboxing. They all work great, but only this one can I run 40 boxes on at the same time and expect it to work at all. And I'm not just running 40 boxes, guys. I'm streaming. I'm compressing 1080, all right? So it's pretty badass. It is pretty badass, the state of processors right now. And if you're ready for kind of a raw interface, a raw configuration experience, maybe rough around the edges, AMD Ryzen and Threadripper, amazing processors. Sometimes a little hard to configure though, and sometimes they don't behave as well as you think they should on a certain number of boxes. And we have a lot of people on the Discord server that can help you through with that. That can help you
User
configure
disconnected from your channel.
your Ryzen or your Threadripper so that you're running 40 boxes strong. So, is 8700 all right for 40? Yeah. Is it a K? Yeah, you said K. Okay, so 8700K is plenty good to do what you see me doing right now. All right. My frame rate's not high on all my slaves and my main. Right now I'm running 20 frames per second. Okay, so of course if I turn off streaming, I jump to near 30 frames per second. Streaming takes up a lot of CPU, so your 8700K is going to be great for 40. So, are you getting an 8700K? You're not, right? But the 9900s are what I'm really looking at, and they're kind of expensive. They're really expensive, and they're 12 core, 24 thread, and their Cinemark scores are looking really, really good. So Cinebench, we run the Cinebench benchmark to judge how our computers are going to work for multiboxing. Seems to be pretty good. Seems to be a pretty good judge of how you're going to do it. If your Cinebench is around 1,000, 1100, you can run 40 usually. So the Cinebench of the 8700, you can look it up. It's probably in the 1300, 1400 range. So you should be able to do 40 no problem, better than I can actually with an 8700K. Go ahead and crank it up, delit it, put some solder in it, and crank it up to 5 gigahertz if you can. I run my 7700K at 5 gigahertz. It has been delitted. Intel is still putting the bad thermal paste inside. Don't know why, but they're still doing that. So that thermal paste between the lid and the die has to be upgraded to solder, to liquid solder, and the temperature of your die immediately goes down 10 to 15 degrees centigrade. So it's huge. It's required for overclocking. No getting around it. You got to do it. So I'm told that 9900 and later have solved that. So here's hoping. Yeah, so definitely AMD CPUs are the best bang for the buck on paper. My issue with them is that they're finicky. They're finicky. That's all I'll say. They're just hard to get configured right so that you're getting that bang for the buck. And you need to be kind of technical. You need to be kind of technical. You do need to be technical to overclock any processor, by the way. And certainly to delit a processor, I mean, that's beyond technical. That is risk taker. You need to be a risk taker. So, yeah. But if you just roll up with an 8700K, do the normal little overclocking from the BIOS, safe overclocking, keep the temperature below 80 degrees C, 70 if you can, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be 40 boxing up a storm. And the video card really doesn't matter. I have an old 1050, not even a 1050 Ti in this box. So in some ways a slower video card helps, because if it's working hard and cutting a lower frame rate, that actually makes the CPU load go down. CPU load is in exact proportion to adding up all the frame rates from all the windows. All right. So if the frame rates are low because you have a kind of an older video card, it kind of helps. It kind of helps your CPU in multiboxing. It's a weird reverse intuition thing that's going on, but it is true, and it is the reason I don't run any sort of frame rate limiter on my system, and I don't have to. You might have to. There are frame rate limiters that force the windows in your system to run at lower frame rates. So anyway, it's really exciting what's going on. I mean, I don't want to overplay it here, and I don't want to act like, oh yeah, this is going to be the greatest thing since Lights Hope or whatever, but I can almost guarantee you that if you do come here, you do log in, you do multibox, you do use 5-minute multiboxing, you're gonna have fun. You're gonna have fun, and you're gonna smile, and you might even get addicted. So, thanks for watching. Look for me this weekend. Hopefully the login page comes up and everybody gets on. We're not gonna have a big splash announcement or anything like that. It's just like, I'm going to be doing these videos, directing people here. People will come or they won't. I feel like if we can get 50 people on at the same time, mission accomplished. That's it. 50 multi-boxers on at the same time. And by the way, solo boxers are welcome. And if you used to play on Project Azeroth, or if you want to play on Project Azeroth solo, you can run with us. We run raids. Sometimes we drop people and have other people come in. So I do that all the time. So you can run with us, and you're certainly welcome to solo box here. So that's it. Let me see if I can actually turn off my stream this time. I left it running last night. So night, everybody.